Alright, there you go. It's working. And this one over here is bouncing in time with it. So, I got the basic concept working. Okay? It's just a matter of getting everything adjusted correctly. Let me try upping the voltage and see if that makes anything brighter. But I've got an upper limit on the voltage on this thing. As I was afraid of, it doesn't make a bit of difference on the brightness. Okay? So it's not that. It's probably the transistor I'm using. I'm going to see if I can swap out the transistor and get a different reaction. I'll be back in a little bit, but I got the circuit running, and that's the important part. Alright, everyone. This thing is working. It's not liking the song I just have chosen, but you can see it's working. The song, for some reason that side stopped, but I'm not going to worry about that at the moment. I did have, yeah, there they go. It's just a connection. Okay, this side's working better than that side. I might have a fix for this because I lowered the resistance value on this side, and look, and we're running 9 volts, my target voltage. So I'm going to try dropping the resistance a little bit more and seeing if that does anything. Okay. But from what I can tell from reading on the internet, I got the wrong transistor base. There's the song I'm playing just in case anyone cares to notice, to know. Can't have it in the audio. Put it in the audio, then I got issues with YouTube and copyright, and we're not going there right now. So I'm going to try lowering the resistor value a little bit more, but when I do that, I run the risk of eating up the LED, and that is not happiness to me. So, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop that resistance value down to about 100. I got some 100 ohm resistors in here, and seeing what that does. Because if I can use these transistors, I can solder this circuit up tomorrow, and I can get building back on the car again. Because I plan to have this powering 4 LEDs underneath the bottom of the car, and plugging my MP3 player into it and having the car doing a little light show. I also have an auxiliary speaker I can plug in and a Y cable. Here's this setup over here. The speaker's going to get cut apart and redone. And this is a powered speaker. It's going under the bass. Okay? So that we'll be able to hear the music at the same time we get our light show. I mean, there's no point to that. The music's probably over. Because, well, it's not a very long song. No, it's not. It's just not a very energetic song. Let's try a different song here. It's a little bit more energetic. Okay. Yeah, you can see it's flashing more. And again, one side's flashing a lot more than the other side. And we're at 9 volts. Makes me wonder a little bit. Not going to worry about it too much. I'm going to just go ahead and order the other transistors and see. I'm going to quit experimenting. I'm just going to order the proper transistors like they recommend and see what's up. See if I can get this to work a little bit better. They're not expensive. It might take a few days to get here. The only part that worries me. But I got so much to do on the car and the Mercury 9 that I'll just proceed working now that I got the circuit working. You can see that it's bouncing. The song, as you might think, by the cars. Okay. I don't know why that side quit working. There it goes. There was a short. And they're about equally bright, so I don't think the resistors are the problem. This one is a teeny bit brighter than that one, but not much. I think it's the transistors that are the problem. Alright, everyone. I'll be back. And once I get this thing working properly, I'll detail out what I'm doing so everyone knows what's up, because this is not a very complex circuit. The complexity comes in soldering your output wires from your headphone jack together to get this thing to work, and making sure you get the pins lined up properly on your transistors. That's where the problems come in, not anything else. So I'll be back in a little bit. Well, everyone, this is the last set of parts that need primer. Once they get that, they get some detail paint, and then everything's going to have some paint on it. Once everything's got the paint on it, and it's just putting everything together. And that won't take very long. You know, that's an afternoon thing. I got a lot of paint work to do here, and I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with these speaker grills yet. I'd love to put some sort of mesh on them, but I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to get it to look right. So they may stay the way they are. Another thought that comes to mind is I could just heat some mesh up and press it in there and get a pattern on it that way. I might experiment a little bit. I've got some pieces of sprue to play with. This primarily, so if I can get that pattern to take on this, then I can get the pattern to take there. We'll see. It might not be hard to do. Might just need to take that soldering iron, heat it up, and put the mesh on top and mash it down on it. I'll try that in a little bit. But I probably ought to do that before I primer these parts. So I'm going to try that next. And then these things get some primer. And when they're done primering, I'll start putting colors on them and getting it done. I'll be back in a bit. Well, folks, my experiment was a success and failure all at the same time. I forgot to do my testing on the test piece. Okay? And instead did it on the door piece. Don't look so good, does it? Let's look at this one. I gotta fix that somehow. That's just gonna take some sanding and some work. Okay? Now, when I get up here, there we go. That's what I was trying for, and I got it here. What happened is the soldering iron was too hot. If you're going to do this, the soldering iron needs to be about 200 C. And then you can only hold it on there for a brief second or two. You can't put it on there and hold it. You'll melt the piece, and melting the piece forces the plastic up into the mesh, and you get that. I'll get that cleaned up. It doesn't look too horrible. It just doesn't look great. I don't know how well I'll get it cleaned up. We'll give it a try. The happy thought is it isn't going to be very visible. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how visible it is. Anyhow, I'll be back in a bit. We're going to see what my repair looks like. Just in case you're wondering how visible it's going to be. There it is with the seat in place. I put the upper dash in place. You're probably barely going to be able to see it's there. And the worst part of the damage is on the bottom ring. So I can probably save that part. Just some light sanding across the top with some high grit sandpaper. But anyhow, just a warning, don't hit it with a high heat. Hit it with a low heat and only for a second. And you can put an impression in there just like that one there, which will give the hint of a speaker grill. That one's okay too, because it didn't get it too hot. That one got too hot. Alright, so be back in a bit. Alright everyone, the last parts have primer. Now every part for this Honda has primer, including the last Mercury 9. Well, no, there's still some parts from Mercury 9 that need paint. This is the critical one. This is the one that's holding me up. Okay? But everything on the Honda now has some primer, and that's important because now I can start doing the final painting. Once the final painting's done, then I can just put it together and she's done. Okay? So, color coats are coming up next. That probably will be tomorrow, because I have to pick BB up from school in a few minutes, and the rest of my day is pretty much tied up. So I don't think I'm going to get back up here, but I don't think it's too bad for 2.5, 3 hours worth of work to get all this cleaned up and primered. Yeah, I got the primer a little thick on the steering wheel, but this is the Tamiya primer. It usually tightens up as it dries and finalizes. I'm not going to put a secondary coat on any of these parts. This is a one and only coat of primer. Alright, I will be back in a little bit with something else.
We went to a party, then we go on a rocket.
You want a rocket?
Yes.
Rocket to where?
A planet, and we played something.
You did an obstacle course?
Yes.
I keep losing this part.
And look at my toy. I give them a decoration. Look at this one.
Ooh, fancy.
And look what the little kitty can do.
Aww.
She can, the little kitty looks like thunder to me.
Is Thunder a good cat, BB?
No.
Why not? What's he do wrong?
He's stinker!
And what's that mean?
I don't know!
You stinker cat and you don't know what that means, huh?
What? Yay, yay! Woo! That was a score.
This has been going better. Plenty of light though.
Thunder. Thunder. Thunder.
I need to check and see what the charge is like on this radio.
É muito gato. É muito gato.
Yeah, you're right, you're gonna hear it.